G'day guys, welcome back. So I am just continuing on from that last pour where I used the satin enamels and I got kind of that cloudy effect in the middle, and then I had those gold pearls around the outside. If you haven't seen that one, go back and check that one out. And I did say that I'm going to go again with the same colours as those, but I lied. I changed my mind. I thought I've done so many with gold, I'm going to change it up a little bit. I've still got the black, the navy blue, the turquoise, and I'm throwing in two different metallics to see what happens. I've got sapphire, which is the blue, and amethyst, which is the purple. Now this one, when I mixed this one up 1:1, it was really thin. So I ended up mixing that 2 parts paint to 1 part Floetrol. This one's much thicker for some reason. It's just how it is, isn't it? Paints are never the same thickness, even in the same brand. So that's my two metallics. And I've got the black here. I've gone back to my usual 2 parts Floetrol, 1 part Liquitex Basics with a splash of water, 5 grams of water. So 20 grams of paint, 40 grams of Floetrol, 5 grams of water in the black, the navy, and the turquoise. The turquoise is 50-50 blue and green, phthalo blue and phthalo green. The navy, this one is the phthalo blue with just a little, probably 2 drops of the black to darken it. And then the purple here is the dioxazine purple. The turquoise, I wanted it just a little bit lighter because these are all quite dark colours. So I thought I'll just put a little splash of satin enamels in it just to lighten it. That was the colour there on the rim. So I've just lightened it just a bit, and we'll see. You know, it may react as well, being in a different colour. It may puff things up a little bit. Who knows? All right, let me make some room and let's do this. Now, I want to put a little bit more black. I kind of lost all my black in the last one, so I'm going to put in most of my black. It's probably too much. Maybe 2/3 of my black. 2/3. It's hard to know how much is in there. I didn't make up very much. So the remaining bit of black, as you know, just a splash of water. Thin it out. Pour it on the outside. Just to thin the background out a little bit. You don't want the paint that you pour out of your cup to have to struggle to go over it if it's a bit thicker. Right, let's just real quick smooth these out. This is my second pour for today, having a lovely day off work, experimenting. And my husband got home yesterday. Some of you may know, he works away 2 weeks at a time. So I'm on my own. Got my dogs though to keep me company. Got you guys in YouTube land to keep me company. But he got home yesterday. So I've taken the day off. Today and tomorrow I try and take a couple of days off work while he's home. Because he's only home for 5 days. Well, it's actually 7 days, but 2 of the days he spent travelling. 1 day travelling here, and the next week he leaves 1 day to travel all day to start work the next day. So he's really only home for 5 days. And the lovely thing went and did my grocery shopping for me today. Isn't that nice of him? So that I could paint. Well, he had to go up and wash his car anyway, so he just said, I'll get the groceries for you while you're out. So this is my second pour today. Righto, navy. And I'm going to kind of swirl it around a little bit just so that I can try and blend my colours a little. Normally I just go straight into the centre, but this one I'm going to just try and swirl it around a little bit. Not that easy to swirl when there's only a tiny bit in there. Now 20 grams of paint, 40 grams of Floetrol, it's only 60 grams of paint, that's 2 ounces, so it's not a lot. Now these two metallics I don't need all of those because I used a half a bottle of each. And you guys know that when I do this size canvas, I only use a half a bottle per canvas. So if I use 2 halves, obviously that's a whole bottle, and I think it's going to be a bit much. Kind of tempted to do it, but I think I'm just going to end up tipping most of it off. So let's just pour a little bit in. Probably half, so I've got some left for my next pour. In goes the turquoise. And then the dioxazine purple. I do use quite a lot of paint, I guess, for this technique. I have tried to use less, and what happens is your cells come up and then you have to really stretch everything to cover the surface, and you end up, they get all wiggly like zigzag because everything's too stretched. Okay, I won't use all that blue either. Probably got more. Oh, well, yeah, I have got more purple because that was 2 to 1. Remember, 2 parts paint. Okay, how's it looking in there? Let's pour it out. See what happens from up high. It's nice to go up high. It just blends everything nicely. I'm going to try and do a little bit of a wriggle there in the middle, just to have something of interest to look at. Catch the drip. If you're going to have something in the centre, you might as well make it a feature, hey? Okay, so we've got lots of the purple that's come up already. Let's give it a torch, pop some bubbles. And off we go. I think what I'll do is what do I want to do? Normally I go around in a big circle. Just to touch the edges. Stretch everything out without going over too much. Just to stretch it all out. I'm going to decide if I want to keep this, all that purple, you know, that turns into those intestine looking things that I don't like. And look, I'm going to lose all that beautiful turquoise. I'll go over this one first. Back to the middle. I'm going to go a little bit slower this time. Keep some of the purple. Pity I'm losing all my turquoise off the edge there. It's a bit of a shame. I haven't worked out how to keep those outside colours. Well, maybe if I do like a layered cup and layer each colour twice. Let's see if I can keep some of that on the corner there. So that's what my next experiment is going to be. Okay, I don't like all that purple there. Yeah, so I thought I'll see what happens if I do a layered cup. Might try that next. Just going to get rid of some of this purple down the bottom. Those intestines that I don't like. And hopefully stretching everything out will allow some more pearls to pop up. So I'm just moving the canvas now up and down, just gently, just to encourage pearls to come up. Hopefully my mix isn't too thick. So I added that extra half a bottle of metallic purple. Not much coming up just yet. Okay, let me torch it. That metallic purple certainly overtook the metallic blue, from what I can see. Popping bubbles. Okay, now let's just let that sit for a bit while I cover my corners. Oops, oh, look at that, slipped. Gotta be careful when you're doing your colours, your corners, don't you? You easily slip with your tool. I wonder if that mix was slightly too thick. It was the same recipe that I always use, so it should be fine. Actually, the only difference is normally if I'm using Liquitex Basics black instead of the Artist Loft black, I normally mix my black 3:1. This one I did 2:1 with a splash of water, so I don't know that that would make any difference, but we shall see. Maybe a little bit of difference. See, I don't particularly like these cloudy type things, but other people do. I thought I'd leave them this time. Normally I would just, as soon as I see that band of metallic on the side, I normally just get rid of that so that I've just got this plain dark background. But I thought I'd leave it this time. All right, let's leave that for a bit. And I do like how dark it is. I just wish I had more of this beautiful turquoise showing through. There's a bit there and there's a bit through there, but I've obviously got too much black in the center, so half a cup would have been better. I put 2/3 in, so yeah, my bad, put a bit much in, but let's see what happens. Put it on pause. I'm gonna make a coffee and I'll come back. Starry night. Whoops, come on. I struggle with you, don't I? Yes, I do. Okay. Okay, we'll give that 10 or 15 minutes to develop, and I will come back to it soon. See you in a bit. Okay, so I love the colours, but just not getting the reaction. I think where I went wrong is that metallic blue was thick, and instead of me thinning the blue to match the metallic purple, I thickened the purple to match the thickness of the metallic blue. So my two metallics are too thick. So that's why I've only got a few little cells popping up, and they haven't grown very much. So I've mixed up some more paint. There it is. More paint. And I'm just going to pour over the top of it. So this one, the black, the Liquitex Basics black, I've gone back to my 3 parts Floetrol, 1 part paint. The other colours are all the same as before, 1 part paint, 2 parts Floetrol with a splash of water. And then I thinned out my blue, my metallic blue. Leaves a little mound. It was leaving a really big mound before. And so it still feels thinner than my purple. Add a little splash of water. That's too much. Okay. Yeah, for some reason that metallic blue is really thick. It's really thrown me. Okay. I'm debating whether or not to do a layered pour. I just don't want, the definite rings, that's all. So, you know, when you get a ring pour, you get those rings. I don't want that. I like that blended background. So I won't. But what I think I'll do this time is pour in each colour twice instead of once. And maybe that way it will disperse a little bit better. Now, I'm just going to add a splash of water to my black. So that's got 3 parts Floetrol, 1 part black, and a splash of water. A splash is usually about 4 or 5 grams when I weigh it. Righto, so half this time, not 2/3. Is that about half? I won't put any more in. That I'll just save for another pour. And then I'm going to go with half the turquoise, half the purple, half of that, it's the metallic blue, half my navy, and you guessed it, half the purple. And then let's go with the rest of it, because I really, really like this turquoise. Oh, and I did the same as last time. I put just a little blob of the white satin enamels in my turquoise just to lighten it, because it's quite dark painting. So there's cells happening on top already. So if you've got action happening in your cup, then you know that your mix is a little bit better than it should have been last time. You should have that reaction happening. Yeah, my mix. It's this blue that's thrown me. It was so thick. And then I thought, oh, am I supposed to thicken my purple to match that one? Or do I thin that to match the purple? And obviously I did it wrong. Da-da! Did it wrong. That's okay, live and learn. I just assumed that all the colours were the same thickness. Never occurred to me that they'd be different. But obviously they are. There's a lot of metallics in here. Feels like a lot. Okay. Now I'm just going to pour straight over the top. I don't need a background because I've got a background already. So look at that. It's very purple and blue. I hope I've got some black down the bottom. Okay. Let's do this. And I don't think I'm going to go with the wiggle. I don't particularly like that. I prefer just a stark black centre, or whatever colour centre I'm going to get. It's much more colourful, isn't it? With me layering everything twice. Here comes the black. And I'll just catch that so that I don't get that wiggle in the bottom. Because mostly it's black in the bottom, so you don't want to tip everything out. You know, there's a little bit in the bottom, but it's pretty much all black. Okay, torch, popping bubbles. I can see a lot more turquoise through the centre there. Such a shame to lose those pretty cells. Bye-bye cells, I'm sorry. It was nice having you for a little while. Round we go. Plenty of paint. Probably too much paint. You know what? I don't like that center. I'm going to take that center off. I should pour on one side, then I don't have to worry about the center. You don't have to have your center in the middle, you know, you don't. Now I'm just going to move this a little bit just to try and encourage the pearls to pop up. Hopefully they're under there. You don't want to tilt too much once they start popping up though. See, they're popping up here. I don't want them to overstretch and lose their cute little round shape. So let's just hope that there's some under there, under all that colour. Okay, wash my hands off. Let's torch. So I've got a lot more of the turquoise showing this time, which is really pretty. And I don't have those too many of these big purple intestines. I tipped most of those off. You do have to have enough paint so that you can actually tip those off if you want to have pretty pearls popping up. Hopefully they're under there somewhere. So a little sprinkling happening through here, and again I will let it develop. Turn the camera off, pause it. So certainly not as dark as the last one, hey? So it'll be interesting to see whether or not that idea of me tipping each colour in twice works. It certainly does give you more of a blended background. Let me get rid of these grubby gloves. But not a lot happening so far. Okay. We will see what happens. Okay, I'll leave you there. I'm going to go and make a cuppa, and I'll come back in about 15 minutes and we'll see if anything's happened. Can't see much in the way of blue pearls. I can see a lot of purple pearls, but not too much blue. But maybe I thinned it out too much. I just can't get it right today. All right, I'll see you in a bit. So I'll go at about 10 minutes, not much more has happened. I think probably what I did wrong is I should have scraped the paint from underneath before I poured the new paint on, because it was much thicker. So the two paints have kind of blended together and I haven't had that much of a reaction because the bottom layer was thicker. But it's still quite pretty, you know, you've got cells on one side and then you've got that kind of streaky look on the other side, so I'll take you down. But yeah, I guess that's what I did wrong. Should have scraped it, started fresh, rather than just pouring over the top. If I had the bottom one too thick. But these are quite pretty, aren't they? Look at that. They're all on the one side, hardly anything on the other side. And they're nice looking little pearls. See how nice and round they are, and they're kind of all floating. They're more separate. That's what I really like. And then when your mix is a bit on the thin side, then they kind of all blur into each other. So yes, I've got my nice round separate pearls, but there's nothing over here. I mean, there's a nice blending of colour. There's a bit of shimmer in the middle there. Shimmer, shimmer. I don't know what that's from. It must be the purple. So there you go. That's it. And I'm glad I tilted most of the intestines off. There's a little bit there, but most of them are gone. And just look at that bit. See, that's the best bit. That's what I like. That's my aim. But bigger. Now, if I have more paint, I wonder if that would make them bigger, because they'd pop up and they could stretch out more. More experimentation is required. But yeah, happy with half of it, just not the other half. Oh, but then maybe if everything was covered in pearls, it would be too much. All right, there we go. Love you and leave you. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now.